Hi everyone, Susie here from Minnesota, and I garden in a Zone 4B, and it's the beginning of July, and I'm taking you on my backyard cottage garden tour. And it's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's Sunday. I'm trying to talk a little bit quieter so I'm not bothering the neighbors. We did have about 2.5 inches of rain here. I've done so many tours, I'm not going to go over all of the plant names. If there are names you would like, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Just showing you how things are looking in July. The heuchera down here is getting new growth on it, which is so nice to see. The azalea here looks tough. I'm not going to do anything with that plant or shrub. It's on its own. The bloom stalk should be taller, but we've been dry, so I think that's why they've stayed a little shorter. But they're not wilty, so that's nice. A lot of my hostas are flowering. I'm just going to leave most this year. I like some of the shorter varieties. There are some that get really tall and lanky that I will cut off. It's supposed to be 90 degrees today. It is windy, so I am sorry about that. I'm a little behind on getting a video out, but I kind of like to do it. Wednesdays are one of my days off. It's just a little easier filming when not so many people out and about and music and talking. This is normal for pulmonaria to look like that. That all will brown up at some point and it takes care of itself. You can go in there and help it, but I just find it's kind of a no mess, no fuss plant. I like that. And this Astilbe here is beautiful. I don't know the name though. I've had this one for at least 7 or 8 years. And you can see the Japanese painted ferns look a lot better after that rain. Even though with the 2.5 inches of rain, it's still very dry, but I'll take it. I just planted this in here. This is a lemony lace elderberry sambucus. It will get greener than that. I think this is really sun-scorched where I got it. I just like that texture in here. I know I said I was going to plant, but I don't know. I had to. It will get bigger. I think 3 to 5 feet tall. I'll manage its size, depending on what's going to happen with this garden. Yeah, some of these hostas put out purple flowers. That one's really nice. I think there's a squirrel up above me. Yep. of looks like we're going to get something. It's a little dark off to the east. The humidity has definitely come to Minnesota. In the last week we've been so humid, and we've been kind of mid-80s, low 90s, and I can deal with that, but once that humidity comes, whoa. Just going to show you this. My honeysuckle is done with its first bloom, but look at all of that growth up there. None of my plants are set up on drip. I'm barely watering anything. I think I watered the astilbes. I've watered some the pulmonaria. And I'm letting everything else kind of be on its own. I love this path here. I don't know. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but I'm really liking it. I have to just kind of keep control of the lamustrum down here. Well, and the lily of the valley. But it's working so far. These caladiums over here are looking fantastic. Tiny Wine 9-bark. I'm really liking that. I can't wait till it gets bigger. And then with that shrub and then this one next to each other, I think that's a really nice contrast. I think it's about time that I come in here and cut this back. Give it a little haircut. It was windy. Like, really, I was kind of debating if I wanted to do this tour, and then all of a sudden it got eerily quiet. Go to Dogwood. Just love this. I know I talk about it a lot, but it is a favorite. Sometimes there's just certain plants that you just come to love more than others. And this is still be down here. It's just got the one flower spike going on. Nothing wow about it yet. I didn't think that was going to do anything. I for sure thought it was going to be this one right here. And it's not doing anything. I do have some weeding in here, but I manage my gardens on my own, so I kind of pick and choose what's the most important. So first is always watering. And at some point, it's going to be harvesting my vegetables. And then I just kind of decide what I feel like doing. This pulmonaria, it's looking really good in here. The giant fleece flower, with all the rain we had, has just kind of flopped. It is something where I've tried staking it up in the past, and haven't been a fan of it. So I might have to get in here, trim up some, and just, because I do have some, well, Jurassic Park and T-Rex hostas are under there. I'm like, I'm not sure where now. Painter's Palette Persicaria. And then I do have caladiums down here just to fill in this gap. I do like that. I planted this probably about the middle of June, maybe past. That is when I can plant caladiums in my climate. They take a bit, but when they do come up, they definitely put on their show, don't they? I mean, I don't know of any flower out there in 4 weeks can put on a show like this. Loving it a lot, but I love caladiums. turtle head looks amazing. And then this is the Sabaria sorbifolia stem. It takes up about a 12-foot area, which started with probably about a 2-foot shrub. It is beautiful. And I don't mind if it runs. I've got room for it, and this is in my misfit garden. So I can do it at once here, but I will tell you this, don't plant this anywhere near it can go into your neighbor's yard. They will not appreciate that, because it does not pick and choose where it grows. It's growing all the way back here into my clematis. And again, I'm just letting it. Kind of a low maintenance gardener where I kind of let things do what it wants and I step in whenever it just doesn't work with what I envision. This clematis here is Viticella Polish Spirit. It is a little bit lower. It should cover that whole trellis, but I have it tied in a little bit weird, so it's all kind of right there. That's okay. It's one of my favorites. Next to it, this is what I was expecting it to do, and kind of get some height. And this is Pink Mink. So I do have a lot of white going on over here right now with the shrub and then the giant fleece flower in the back. And then the incredible hydrangea. And I'm okay with that. This is kind of a calmer color area, if you want to say. Maybe not looking. It is a little wild sometimes. But with more white here with these plants, and also I have some, well, that's okay. Kind of have a little bit of a moon garden theme going on here right now. These daylilies are putting out some flower stalks here, which is really neat. The one in back, not so much, but I know they all have different bloom times. So, and then the Nepeta, I've really been trimming this one up. It's been kind of browning and dying in there. It should bounce back. These could probably get a good cut here too. If it stays overcast, it'll be kind of a nice day to work in the garden. Oh, I just saw this. My sedums here are getting their flowers, or buds forming. They're later blooming perennials, so that'll be nice. Oh, I just noticed I have some bee balm in here too. I have a few survivors. Yay! I love bee balm. But the creeping Jenny in this garden has kind of just smothered everything. And then we did get that huge amount of rain that just flooded my backyard. So I had a little bit to work with. I'm trying to figure out what way to go. Maybe this way. I love the grasses. I just kind of like walking past here. I'm always just kind of brushing my hand against it. Might be looking a little bit messy, but I love the grasses. I'll never be without. And then down here, I think this is an Erigium Blue Hobbit. I thought this was a goner last year. I had two, so one did not make it. And the fact that this also survived being underwater, I'm just shocked. So it is called Blue Hobbit. It is tiny. I would say right now it can't be more than 10 inches tall. I mean, it is all. And back here, I wasn't sure how I was feeling about this clematis here, Princess Kate, and I'm really liking it. It's absolutely beautiful from behind. Look at that. Can't wait to see what this will look like when it's completely filled over here. I have two different types, Nellie Moser in here and then Princess Kate. And then it is going over, but it did have a really, oh, that one's a little bit better. So yeah, I do like it. I love how dainty it is. It's unique. And just wish there was a little more of it. Nepeta's looking really good down here, especially this one. The Stachy's officinalis with all of that rain has flopped a little bit. I'm debating if I want to come in here and stake. I try not to do a whole lot. I just think it looks just not right, just not natural. But it is beautiful. And then behind it is the Italian Ice, also Easy Rose. And I have to say, it's probably been the best it's ever looked. And then I have more. And the white one's Veronica. Still putting on a nice little show here. And then the yarrow, I did get a little floppy, just kind of letting everything support it. I'm still just leaving all of the Purple Sensation alliums. I think it offers a lot in the garden. I think they're all kind of supporting one another right now. And then the roses behind it, the double red, oh so easy rose. I just planted this last night. It is a Firelight Tidbit Hydrangea. It only gets 2 to 3 feet tall. I think it'll look good in here. It'll offer some later color and longer color. I did have a yarrow in here that I removed. Yeah, the roses, these for some reason this year are unbelievable. Oh, how did I go past this bee balm down here when it's such a favorite? This is Balmy Rose. It's definitely not in the right spot. So I'm trying to figure out where I can move it to, where it can spread and love its life, because it looks fantastic. I mean, optimal spot would probably be right here. So I have to think on that. I like the Stachy's officinalis, I just don't like that it flops, especially in the front. That lamb's ear is just huge. And then all of my little ornamental alliums here, they're little nodding heads right now. I'm going to have so many in here. And back here. Can't wait. And then coming up in here is just a phlox. Kind of self-seeded. And that's okay. This is my cottage garden. I like things to fill in, help me out. And look at this bee balm. What is that? Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna... I feel so... Yeah, I know this is what bugs do. But I do feel bad for the little dudes. Yeah, I love this bee balm. I did forget that I have an echinacea planted back here. So that'll be starting here in just a little bit. Loving the purple Veronica. It's probably my favorite out of the 3 that I started from seed. Just that one is nice and tall. It did flop a little in there, but when things are planted so heavily close, I don't think you notice quite as much. I'm trying to figure out which one this is. Look, this is can't be the same. It's taller. I did trim back my salvias. I have a few blooms left on this one, and at some point I will shear that back. Hopefully I get a second set of blooms on that. I deadheaded all of my hardy geraniums here just to neaten it up. Look at that. Shasta Daisy is still looking okay. It's got some more blooms that'll be happening there. And then in here where I planted the salvias, or the Texas sage, I think it's coral nymph and white nymph. It's getting some good height to it. And then look, all the columbines that I cut back have new growth. This is Campanula, Tell Him Beauty, Peach Leaf Tell Him Beauty. Those were seeds I started earlier, so they'll probably bloom next year for me. Still liking the grasses, but this is where I have a pink Veronica and a white one. They're a little bit shorter. I just think they're nice, but this is what I see. Love it. I need to get in here and deadhead as much I can on my climbing rose here. It will keep pushing out new growth and new buds. It's a nice thing about, oops, sorry. Shoes are a little squeaky. Where is he? Okay. That is my cue to go. The nice thing about this garden is that I have pretty much always something in bloom. So when one thing goes over, another one is to come. Because this is all phlox in here. Then I have the echinacea. That will be blooming at some point. And this is David. It's a white phlox. Calamintha down here looks really good. The rain has definitely helped a lot of stuff. Some things have flopped. The gar looks really good here. I know I'm getting a few more, if you want to say, flower spikes on the grasses here. But over here's where it flopped. The thing is I don't fertilize this bed either because a lot of plants in here don't need it. So I'm not sure why that. And I won't stake that up. So many times I end up staking, and again, it's just I like a more natural looking garden. So I might just come in here and cut those off. I don't think I'll be missing anything. I love how these just look like they're floating. It's Gara. Might be a little hard to see on camera. Because sometimes I always focus up close and just need to get bigger views. I'll walk through here. Just kind of show you what it looks like from the back. It's funny, when I come back for a walk, I can always see the Veronica from the street. Love it. Oh, I do have a sweet pea down here. I'm leaving at some point. I probably will just get rid of it because it wants to climb up the grasses, which is not a really good support for it. Something's smelling really good. I'm not sure what. And this is a quick fire fab hydrangea, just starting. I planted it last year, later in the season. I think it takes hydrangeas about 3 years for them to, 3 to 4, to start getting some good height to them, if they like their location. This is just an annual phlox I started from seed. I'm just letting it do what it wants to do. It's kind of pretty just coming over the edge there, along with the yellows happening in this garden here. This is going bananas. Daylily. This has a beautiful scent to it. This actually feels fake. Don't know what it is, but it's really beautiful. This is happy in this spot. Just wanted to show you my little vegetable garden here quick. I am struggling with the peppers. I always have. So we'll see what happens if I get any on there. It's a tam jalapeno over here, and that was like my single seed challenge. It's doing okay, and then the other ones are just jalapenos. Yeah, I don't know. And then my tomatoes look awesome. Can you see all those in there? These are just Romas. I love them for in salads. And then I have Mountain Fresh. That's putting some on. Just have to. And then Pink Ping Pong are cherry tomatoes, and they're doing pretty good. It's kind of hard walking here. I just kind of keep moving the cucumbers in because I don't want the two to meet. I still want to have my path. Last year I lost it. I'm really trying to not have that happen again. I have lots of cucumbers. I'm hoping. Ooh, I have one. Look. It's. Thought I had the tag somewhere. Well, it's called Eureka, and I guess I should have read how big they get. I'm struggling. But I do have it. Alright, so 4 to 5 inches. So that's not bad. I love cucumbers. It's oh, I've got some more. So I have so much fruit forming. I just kind of worry about if any of it's going to come to fruition. I know I have some in here. Been really good about keeping this watered and fertilized. I'm really trying to really focus on the vegetables this year. This is a Dahlia I started from seed, and it is going over, but it's not a red. It's like a salmon red with yellow veining with a purple stem. I absolutely love this one. Didn't realize how beautiful that was going to get. So I'm kind of hoping to save this along with the cucumbers. This is just a Transylvanian sage blue cloud. Another seed I started. It gets pretty big. I think it'll look nice in here with the yellows and purples. I have hydrangea cuttings in here that are forming buds. Over here, this is the Texas sage hummingbird coral nymph. I love it. This is probably one of my favorite. They can just take a little less sun than others. I don't really have to do much with this one. It's an annual. And then calamintha. Beans are taking their sweet time to do anything. I am starting to see flowers here. bush green beans. At first I thought I had climbing, because just the way that they're wanting to go. I mean, and it's different. But we'll see. Like this one right here, I'm not used to that. And then zebra hollyhocks just kind of bloom when they want to. Love these grasses. They're really pretty. And then the hyacinth bean vine. The silver moon, for some reason, just is probably a favorite. I know it's just white, but it's just putting out lots of blooms. Where the ruby moon, the purple hyacinth bean vine, it's doing okay, not fantastic. And then on the other sides I have Cabea scandens. And it's a cup and saucer vine. I have a kind of a white one here, purple mauve one over there. They're doing really good. I just have to watch the browning at the bottom. We've got a week here that we're going to be in the 90s. This delphinium is just starting, which is really neat. And then I'm going to have another one back here. So I like how they're just kind of going in stages. I'm good with that. Then one here. These were looking so sad yesterday, and they have to pull through. I'm only watering what I have to. Zinnias, love them. They were seeds I started. I only have 3 in here, but figured 3 should be enough amongst everything else. I do have hollyhocks. I don't know if they're going to bloom for me this year. And then more cucumbers here. This was my last sowing of cucumbers. I'm happy that they're climbing on their own. But yeah, it's kind of like coming down this way. Feels enchanted. But I think I was trying to show you, because, oops, bug on my finger. I've never grown the cup and saucer vine before, so trying to figure out what their blooms are like. They said they're a later bloomer, but I think this looks different from the leaves, so I'm wondering if that's going to be one. I think it would be super cool if it is a bloom. Because when they say late blooming, I was worried that we get a freeze before I can even enjoy the blooms. Because that's like the moonflower, or the moonflower vine. Blooms so late in the season, and what happened is it was loaded in buds, and then we got a freeze. And I was not able to enjoy any part of it. And then these cucumbers over here. And this was my first sowing of seeds here, and then the Eureka were plant starts, so I did not start those, but they are getting flowers first. Looks like all male, which is kind of normal for me. This is early Russian, but we'll see what happens here. I wanted to show you the Drumstick Alliums. This is where I need to just kind of pick and choose if I feel like deadheading today, or if I feel like what you're seeing here in the ground are just my tree root shoots, where I came in and just kind of hacked them off. And I leave it on the ground, only reason being is because it will decompose and just it'll be perfectly fine, especially whenever we're hot. But look at this, is the Drumstick Allium. Is that not neat? And look how cool that is. Really liking that. So I have lots of color in this garden, and I'm loving it. This container here, the rain really did do a number on it, but it is throwing off more blooms, so I'm okay with that. I know a lot of it is right down here amongst the grasses. I was going to show you my foxgloves are looking a bit better also after that rain. The mosquitoes are out. I'm wearing a flannel shirt just to protect myself. They're not horrible, but it's just better safe than sorry. I hope they do something. I mean, normally these should. They did last year bloom for me. This is Plectranthus. There's just a fly that keeps bothering me. And I'm just going to kind of show you down here. I was hoping the Plectranthus will fill in eventually, and this one will still have about 2 months left. Well, hopefully more, like 2.5 months left. And this one's doing a bit better. I can always tell when it's time to water this one because the shepherd's hook is standing upright, and that's a good indication that it's dry. It's kind of neat. So when I water it, it bends ever so slightly. One of the things I do have to do is deadhead some of my roses and then give them a good shot of fertilizer in hopes I get a second bloom. And then just going to walk over here, show you how my hydrangeas are doing here. Everything over here from the lilacs to the hydrangeas down to that one right here are 8 years old. And I know that because I planted all of these in memory of my sister. So it was like, gardening got me through a really difficult time. It's just covered. I'm like, oh, I don't know this variety. I know I have a Pinky Winky. I think vanilla strawberry. I know this one over here is Little Limelight. I want to say is there a strawberry sundae? They're all Panacle. I have the best luck with Panacle Hydrangeas. This is always a later one to put out bud. Oh, it is. So I would say this shrub here is about 5 feet tall and probably 6 or 7 feet wide. But yeah, I mean, look at this one is probably 6 feet tall right now. Probably 8 feet wide. Just head over here and see if this one, yep, this one is doing something too. Nice. Oh, where have I been? They all are. I love this. I absolutely love these, and of course, and they're Panacles. And then over here, this is Limelight Prime. Oh, nice. Just saw this today. I wasn't sure. Then I am using Dichondra Silverfalls as a ground cover, and it's doing something. It's a bit, look, it kind of looks like a starfish. But it is doing better. By the end of the season, it might fill in. This is a hardy hibiscus. Look. I love it because that'll offer some color later in the season here. So if I have to water anything, I'll always water a shrub before I water a perennial, just because they're a little more expensive. And this is Limelight. So this one was just planted last year towards the end of the season, along with Limelight Prime and the hardy hibiscus. I think I might go in here, and I probably should pinch off all of these blooms. It's a mum. That way I get a show in the fall. But is that not just, it's just difficult because it's covered. Maybe I'll just enjoy it now and forget about fall. Not a fan of fall anyway. I had pots sitting in front of this, and they got so big last year that it blocked the hydrangeas. So that's why I didn't put them here this year, and I put them all over here. Because I figure where they're they're kind of blocking the lilac, and that went through its bloom cycle, you know, late spring. So it's not blocking anything. Maybe a little bit of the limelight, the little limelight, but I still can see it when I come up because I missed that last year. Just kind of my hydrangea hedge. The sun is just coming up. Oh, that humidity is setting in. I love how it looks coming through those pine trees. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed, and bye for now.